Alright y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Now today's video is going to be very similar to the one I did on the Recon Marines, where I'm going to be looking at some dudes doing some close quarter battle training and sort of break it down to see if it's see how solid their tactics are, see what they utilize that I haven't necessarily utilized myself. Now, quick background for me, I was on the Marine Corps recapture tactics team, so this is sort of where I have like a little bit of a leg to stand on. I went through the Marine Corps close quarter battle training course, and I've done a whole bunch of instructing as far as different units, teaching them the CQB tactics that I actually learned at the schoolhouse. So I love checking out these videos. It's awesome to break it down step by step, especially for y'all if you're not familiar with CQB or you're just trying to see how other people do CQB. It might be useful for y'all as well. So yeah, we'll get right into it. But yeah, it's really awesome looking at people doing CQB, seeing what kind of stuff they do, and just breaking it down. So you guys might be familiar with this channel. It's a pretty big channel. It's Polenar Tactical. I might be saying that wrong, but they have a lot of cool stuff. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to pause this periodically just so I can explain what I'm actually seeing. And if y'all aren't picking up on what I'm picking up on, then I can maybe explain as to why I'm actually pausing the video. But I mean, just the fact that it's raining in the video is very cool. It definitely adds to the aesthetic of them doing this cool training video. Their kit looks really solid. They have nice electronic ear protection. They have nice high cut helmets. So their gear looks very streamlined, very tailored for close quarter battle. Their weapon systems, you see they have pretty short weapons, so that's going to be awesome for CQB, because I can tell you doing CQB with like a M249 squad automatic weapon or an M16 is really a pain in the butt. So this is really the sort of weapon system you want to utilize, what they're rocking here. So very solid. Okay, so very awesome. So you can see they have 4 people. That's awesome for an initial entry on any structure. And it's generally good to push 4 people just because you want to make sure you get that good foothold inside the structure. If you send 2 or 3 and you start taking contact immediately, it might be hard to push in and make sure you take down those targets. So you definitely want to make sure you get a good foothold, and that's a good way to do it. Now you can see the one dude was turning around to get rear security. That's totally fine. If you're working with like a larger element, maybe like a company, like an infantry company, then it might not be necessary because you'll have like the whole area cordoned off usually. But in this scenario, it's totally fine to get that rear security. So that's definitely solid. And then you can see the one dude was pieing off the doorway, which is basically when you're sort of going across the doorway to put yourself in a better position to either let other people inside the room or look inside the room yourself. So awesome. Nothing wrong with that right there. Okay, I love how they're doing all of this right now. So this is very similar, if not completely identical, to what I was actually taught at the Marine Corps Close Quarter Battle School. So using a breacher, totally awesome. You can see the person who pied off the doorway is actually going to be the breacher. So he's using the wire cutters or the bolt cutters, what have you. He's using that to actually breach. So he's doing a mechanical breach. He's going to basically set it up so he can open the door and the other people can actually go in. So that is totally solid right there. You can see he was like looking up and down the door. Sometimes you'll do that either to check if there's like an IED or a booby trap, or if you just want a better assessment. So is the door actually locked? Is there another way to get in here? What's the best way to defeat this door? And you can see it just had a small lock, so now they're just defeating that lock and they're about to get in there. And then you can even see the 2-man was showing the 1-man that he had a flashbang, And the reason for that is the one man is going to be completely focused on that danger area. So he's not going to want to take his eye off of it. He can use his peripheral vision to sort of identify things if someone wants to give him a hand signal or whatnot. But that's awesome. The two man is putting it in front so he can see the flashbang in his peripheral vision. So he knows when the door comes open, that flashbang is going in. So when the door opens up, he's not immediately flowing in, because if he is, then you're going to have a flashbang and the one man going in at the same time, and it can get a little bit messy. So that's awesome that they did that. I love seeing that. Okay, so his flashbang placement was pretty good. You want to get it normally, like try and get it close to the door, if not generally in the center of the room. So that was fine. Some people will train to make entry while the flashbang is going off, because unlike in Call of Duty where it's like completely white, you can't hear anything, if you're the assault force and you're expecting it, it's not going to have that same shock and awe. So if you throw the flashbang, you're going to know not to look at the flashbang. You have ear protection, so it's not going to jack up your hearing. So it's not really going to disorient you too much unless you're like right over it, because I've gotten flashbang before and it was right underneath me, and that's not a good time. But yeah, it's totally acceptable if they want to do that. It just creates a good shock and awe for whoever's inside the room. You just don't want to make entry while the flashbang is being thrown, or take too long, because if you take too long, then they can sort of recover from the shock and awe, start shooting at the doorway and whatnot. So yeah, totally acceptable for them to do that. Now they're stacking up, so everything looks good so far. Okay, so interesting tactics. I'm not really seeing too much of like a structured room clearing like you might see with normal infantry, and that's totally fine when you get more advanced CQB training and you practice the enclosure and whatnot. It gets a flow a little bit better. You know what you need to focus on and what you don't need to focus on. And right now, I think what they're doing is totally fine. You can see he also marked the area with a chem light. The reason why we would do that, I'm not sure if it's the same reason for them, but it's just for like support elements or like additional assault force. It's to let them know that the area was actually cleared, because if you're going throughout an enclosure and you're not really sure which room is clear or not, it gets very, very sketchy. So you just want to make sure whenever you clear a certain area or a room, you would drop a chem light, and that's an awesome way to do it. Awesome. Okay, so something that I saw now, when you're walking through an enclosure, whether it be a hallway or moving from room to room, you don't necessarily need to be completely on the person. Sometimes it's a little bit better to back off a little bit, just so you can make sure you can retain your situational awareness. Generally, the one or two man, the people in the front, will sort of paint the picture for everyone behind them. But if you're not trying to communicate that much, it just might be a little bit better for the people in the back to stand off a little bit, just so we can get a little bit more situational awareness. But it's totally unit dependent, and for them, it looks like it's working pretty well. Now, when you're actually going inside of a room, you definitely want to make sure you close that gap, because you want to make sure there's no gap between the 1, 2, and the 3 man. So you have as many weapons oriented inside the room as quick as possible. So that was awesome. You can see he transitioned to his sidearm, which is definitely good, because sometimes if your weapon goes down, you run out of ammo, or you have a malfunction, you don't want to see if it's a malfunction or see if you run out of ammo. It just takes too much time while you're actually in the fight. Just draw that sidearm. It's definitely a lot quicker. So they definitely got that right in Call of Duty 4, I will say that. So definitely drawing your pistol is definitely the move. Again, you don't want to be fumbling around with your weapon if you don't know if it's a malfunction or just, you know, you running out of ammo. So that's totally solid. I didn't really have a whole lot to really say about that. Again, a lot of it looked very similar to stuff that I've done in the Marine Corps. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys think with these videos. I think it's a lot of fun for me to sort of break it down and just provide some insight and context as to why people do certain things when they're actually doing room clearing. So it's awesome for me to check out. Yeah, and just let me know what you guys think. I'm trying to increase the video quality a little bit, just trying to do like these sort of breakdowns and whatnot. And you can see I got a Marine Corps flag in the background now, so that's pretty solid. But if there's any other recommendations as to what y'all might think would help the channel as far as you know, quality, whether it be with the channel itself, some of the videos, maybe if you want to see me talking along with the video as opposed to pausing it, that's something I could definitely try out. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think, because your opinion is obviously valuable to me, because you know you're the guys who support me, you're the guys who support the channel. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely let me know what you think. If you liked the video, feel free to like it. And if you want to stick around, then definitely subscribe. But that's it for this video, so I will see you all in the next one.